Hello everybody and welcome to my Set 5 Palicium First Impressions. This is going hand in hand with my Barrow First Impressions video, and we're just gonna jump straight into it. However, just one thing, as of today, the day that I'm releasing these videos, Set 5 has officially released, so I will put links of that in the description as well. So starting off with our Palicium reveal cards, we have Zammer Zead. The art is honestly pretty cool. I love the shing thing going on at the point of the Zammer Zead's sword-like nose, and it looks clean overall, and there's the three colors of the different zones on its forehead, and I think that's really clever. Stats for a 3-star. Nothing too special. Can swing for 2 though. Barely. The ability, when this creature is cosplayed, add 1 zone of any type to your planet. So this is once again another zone adding card. And again, it falls into the exact same trap that all these cards have, is that once you get them late in the game, they become usually useless, unless you're trying to get a bunch of zones onto your playing field. Although I would bump this up to a 4 because you can add 1 zone of any type to your planet just by cosplaying this creature, which is honestly a pretty good deal. And then you could, combo this off with another creature to bring out a big creature. So I wouldn't say it's the most terrible zone gaining card. Next up, we have Stomposaurus. This is a 7-star vanilla creature. The art is yet again another dinosaur. It kind of goes with the more Stegosaurus vibes, I would think. And the ice makes this really cool. I do wish there was a bit more texture on that blue area, but otherwise all that ice looks really clean. Stats, although there is no ability, these are pretty good for a 7-star. 290 is able to swing for 3, and the health is 400, which is pretty meaty and can withstand a lot. It isn't the best though. I feel like it should have had a bit more power, maybe 330 or something. It doesn't have to swing for 4, but just a little more power, or even just a little more health to balance off the weak power, because otherwise this isn't the most fantastic card. And this does play into a later resource card though, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Shnoob, and this is actually a pretty neat card. Art, honestly, it's kind of just a thin stick. I like the colors going on a bit, but otherwise it's just a thin stick, unfortunately. It still is kind of cute in my opinion. Stats for a 1-star, nothing too special. Just a 1-star stat line. And then the ability, however, this creature is unaffected by the abilities and attacks of combiner creatures. And this is really good only for combiner decks. And that's the thing that draws it back, but if this is played maybe as your sideboard and you bring it out for a combiner deck, this could be extremely annoying because they would have to remove it some other way. Of course, another thing that kind of weakens it is that the person could easily bring out just a normal creature and hit you, and that could make this card a lot worse, but it is good for just annoying your opponents that have combiner decks. Next up, we have the final Squoz, the final normal Squoz, according to Zach, for this set, which is Droplet Squoz. Art, honestly, I don't know what it is, but I love the color blue, and this fits it to a T. The water droplets coming up just look so clean, and the pose, he's all cuddly. It's just fantastic. This is definitely on par with Lightning Squoz's design. Stats, for a 2-star, pretty good. 110 and then health 50. But this goes into play like all the Squozes with the ability. After this creature is killed by an opponent's attack, you can draw 1 card. And this is good because it just gives you a free card. It's basically a Thorngabork, except I guess it is a little more expensive, which makes it a bit more annoying to play, but it's still worth it for Palicium decks in particular, and then maybe in a potential Squoz related deck. Next, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say this to you, Zach, this is by far the worst card in set 5 that I see to date. Crazy Hands the Ice Shaker. I think that the art is pretty good. Like the angle it makes it look very crazy, and the cracks give it extra texture. Although that face, man, it scares me, dude. It's gonna haunt me in my dreams. Stats 200 for 2 stars. Not terrible. That's actually fantastic. However, the ability. Before you move this creature into a battle zone, you must remove 1 empty zone from your planet. If this was remove 1 empty zone from any other person's planet, which would be broken, I guess, then it would make this card so OP, I guess. But of course, it has to be your planet since it is just a 2-star that has incredibly high stats. It sucks. This card should have been something else. I don't know why. Like, okay, yes, something like Blade Demon, who has a drawback, there's quite a few cards that have drawbacks, but at least with Blade Demon, he has a powerful enough stat line that it makes it worth it. Crazy Hands is a 2-star, and it just, I don't know. This isn't a good card. Least favorite card in this entire set. Next, for the better, we have Kryzo, or Kryzo, I don't know. Probably Kryzo. So the artwork is by Gavora, and it looks absolutely fantastic. The bat with an earring, it looks so cool, and the colors just work so well together, and I love it. The stats, 100 for 4 stars. You might think, dang, that's not a lot. But then the ability comes into play. Only once you can attach one-handed creature to this creature. Whilst that card is attached, this creature gains 150 power and health. So immediately, just by putting a card on here, you jump up to 300, which is actually pretty neat for a 4-star. And not to mention just that, you can also attach a card that works really well with this named Cryocross. And that card allows you to gain 70 power if it's attached to one of the cards. Although I think you have to have it in play, so I guess it wouldn't work. But you could attach another attachment to it, and you could make this card incredibly broken so fast. And think about it, even with just attaching one card, you already put yourself at a really good level. I think the only drawback, major one, would be the fact that once the card is killed, all the cards attached to it would die too. So this would be a good one to do an easy swing. It might not see play, but I think it's probably one of the best cards in this entire Palicium reveal. Finally, we have a reprint named Jubablub. I'm going to go through this really quick. Art, nothing too special. It's just a bunch of water. Stats, it's a vanilla 4-star, and the stats are mediocre. It can swing for 3, but that's about it. Then we have a limited edition named Reef Wanderer. I promise I will do all the rest of the limited editions in the final video, which I'll go through all the rest of the cards that I missed. But basically, this one, poor guy. Starting off with art, it's fantastic. Hasman Marsh did quite a good job making this really nice turtle, and it really fits the style of Chaos Galaxy, and I don't know, it's great, and it has little fishies around it, which is pretty nice. Stats, for a 6-star, it's nothing too special. It can't swing for 3, which is unfortunate, but it can take a lot of hits from stuff since it has a 320 stat line. But that ability, man. When this creature is cosplayed, gain 1 point for each of your other zone Palicium creatures, which is basically a weaker version of Pointosaurus. And this is the first time that Zach has ever did this type of thing where he's basically given the exact same ability to another card without knowing. I hope it doesn't happen ever again, but for this instance, it's kind of horrible because not only is this one locked to just Palicium creatures, but it's also, you have to pay more to get this ability activated, and it's already a mediocre ability at best, so it's an unfortunate loss for this card. It won't see play. Finally, we have a starred card for this planet, 7-starred Seagrass. Because of course he wanted to do 8-starred something. Art, it's Seagrass. It's pretty cool, and it has 7 stars. Nice. And then ability, add 1 Galaxied 7-star Palicium creature to your hand. And this is cool. It can grab Mystical Beast of the Deep, which is a really meta card for Palicium. But then there's only 2 other cards, which is Stomposaurus and Diabocahedra, I think its name is. That's 3 cards. Pathetic, man. So hopefully next set or sometime later we can get more 7-star cards. But for now, this card is only useful for searching Mystical Beast of the Deep. But for now, this card is only useful for searching out 3. And then to make matters worse, the rest of the support cards for Palicium are actually firing against Palicium. Torch of Torcorch. Art is a pretty nice torch. I mean, I'll say that the torch looks pretty clean, and there's some nice technological things around it. So it looks pretty cool, but it's nothing special. Just a torch. And then ability, all creatures lose 100 health. And this is really bad for strong high health creatures like Palicium creatures. But it is a permanent resource, which means that it is kind of annoying to play, so it probably won't see play. But what will see play against Palicium is Ultimate Doom. So first of all, the art references Divine Doom, and now it looks much more handy and clean-handed. I don't know what I just said there. And then the electric sparks are going onto this weird looking seaweed dude or something. I don't know what he is. And then the ability, when your opponent plays a creature so that the stars of all their zone creatures add to 13 or more, kill all your zone creatures. Which basically means that if they play 2 8-starred creatures to try to go for a big swing, you can play Ultimate Doom to just stop them right in their tracks. Or they could have something like a Chaos Beast out, and they'll also bring out another creature to try to go for a big swing, and this basically just stops big swings. Now, it's not really the most useful attachment card against Palicium or stuff like that, but I definitely could see it seeing play somewhere. It's a pretty hard maybe. So that was my Set 5 Palicium first impressions. I hope you enjoyed. Palicium did not get a lot of good support in this. Droplet Squoz and Kryzo were my favorites, and that was about it. Once again, Set 5 is out. Alert everybody, Set 5 is out. Anyways, see ya. Happiness is a warm puppy.